Good morning, y'all. Welcome back to my channel. Wanted to get on here today with a concealer video. My top favorite concealers and how I use those. Around my eyes, of course, and how I cover shadows and maybe highlight. And I'm just going to show you my favorites and how I use them. And I'm going to jump right into this. And I'm going to start with my color correctors. And I have two that I'm using right now. I'm using the MAC Studio Finish. And I love this. This is a little bit stiffer, and really goes on nicely to, kind of clings on to those dark circles. And I love this. I have it in the NC20, but if I was just using this, I would get more of a color correcting shade that's a little peachier or pinker or something, a little more color correcting. But I love this as a color corrector. I blend that with the Charlotte Tilbury Magic Vanish. And this one's a little creamier. If you have dry under eyes, I bet you would love this. I have this one in the lightest one. And I don't know if this is light deflecting or how it does it, but it really covers dark circles great. I like the stiffness of this mixed with this. And I put these on with a Real Techniques little blending brush. And I go around in my MAC and then I tap it into my Charlotte. Okay, when I'm putting this on, I'm just putting it right on the dark circle and then I come across on my lash line and then I'm going to bounce. I don't want to rub too much or I put product on and then wipe it back off. So I am tapping. And then I'm going to go real good into this corner that really brightens the face when you go into this corner. And then I'm going to go over, and then I'm going to go over onto my eyelid. I don't use a primer on my eyelid every day because they're not oily. I just don't really need it. If my shadows don't need it, I don't use it. There's my base on my eyelid and the start of covering those dark circles. I don't consider my dark circles real bad, but they are stubborn. So therefore I layer. Okay, then after my color corrector, one of my favorite concealers I have ever tried is this Maybelline Super Stay. This is just a great concealer, y'all. It goes on really well, but where it really shines is how it wears through the day. It really wears nicely through the day. It comes in this little squeezy tube with a little doe foot, so it's not that impressive packaging at all. But I love for this to be my first step after my concealer. And just right here on my dark circle. And it gives whatever other concealer I'm going to use, because I am going to use another concealer, a little head start. Okay, then for my concealers, I always use a Cheeky Beauty blender. Always. This is damp, and I'm going to spray it with a little bit of this Urban Decay All Nighter. Just spray that on there because this makes products last longer. I don't really know that I ought to be doing this because I know this has alcohol in it. So you're just going to have to decide that for yourself. But I just use it right over here in the corner. I don't, I'm not bringing anything out over into that area. And any residue, any extra, I'm working down into this area. And then a tiny bit, I'll start working over into here. But this is already dry, so this is just residue coming out over here. I don't have any Botox or anything right now. So when I smile, I have lines out here. So I don't get just a whole lot of product with concealer. I don't want that thick. That's always my first step. That Super Stay is always my first. It's like 1A. It's a little bonus concealer. I always layer on top of that. And this may seem like a lot of layers, but it does not feel heavy, does not feel cakey. I keep it over here where there's not a lot of eye movement, just right here. So I don't get a lot of creasing during the day. So now I'm going to move on to my actual big gun, my main concealer of the day. And I have several favorites that I like to start the day with, and then I have several favorites later in the day where I like to touch up. And the ones that I start the day with, okay, I'll start with the Hourglass. The Hourglass is a good full cover, a beautiful application, beautiful packaging, kind of a flat doe foot, really nice for the application, but this breaks up on me horribly during the day unless I do something with it. And all I have to do is use a mist, a dewy skin mist, and this wears beautifully. And it doesn't seem to matter which one. This just needs a little dewy skin mist on me for some reason. Have not heard that anywhere else. But if this breaks up on you, try a dewy skin mist. It's worth the effort. It's that beautiful that this is worth it. I also love the Jouer. This one has not gotten picked up as much because it's the wrong color. And this one works great if I put it on and then let it set up, kind of thicken up a little bit and then blend it. Beautiful. It is a full cover, has a nice big doe foot on it, and it is a lovely concealer. Wears great through the day. I love this. This one's a little bit dark for me, and this is in the shade 2. So I have the number 1 on the way. It should be here anytime. Then the Armani. This is a great concealer if you are scared of buildup. You like a thin consistency under there, a good medium cover. I think you can build it to a full, but it's a good right in the middle medium cover. Has kind of a smaller doe foot, a really pretty application. It's just really light if you're scared of some buildup under there. This is not getting picked up as much, even though I do love it, because I just am picking up other things with more of a full cover. But this has its place on those days that I'm kind of getting cakey or built up and I want to keep it thin under there. And then the Pat McGrath. This was my first Pat McGrath product ever and I love it. This has a beautiful full cover and it wears great all day long. The doe foot is a little bit smaller. I like a little bigger doe foot, but I forgive it for that because it's so good. This may be my longest lasting concealer. I'm not going to use this one in this Get Ready With Me because I'm about to use it in a Sephora Get Ready With Me that might have already been up. So today I'm going to use my Smashbox because I think a lot of y'all probably have seen the Jouer being used and the Hourglass, but maybe not the Smashbox because I found this on an overlooked products video that Jackie Aina put out. So I'm going to use this one, and I'm just going to, again, put it right here on my dark circle. I do mine kind of in a little 7, like down here and a little bit over. Do the other eye. And then I'm going to let this set up a little bit, get a little bit tacky. So we'll have a good cover. And I'm going to cover some shadows while that's setting up. And I'm going to use the Naked Skin by Urban Decay. This is very nice. It's a color correcting fluid. Color correction fluid. And this is in the pink. And I'm going to cover these shadows all through the center of my face. Kind of highlight them and bring them forward. And let's highlight a little bit. I should have put my bangs back, but I didn't. Let's color correct a little right here. Not color correct, but highlight. And then since my bangs are down, I'll go ahead and blend that out just with my finger. Just adds a little lightness. And then I'm going to get a damp beauty blender and blend out through my shadows. I'll tell you, my shadows are not as bad as they sometimes are. And right here around the nose. My shadows are not that bad right now because I'm in the middle of a series of skin tight treatments and that kind of tightens the face up. I love that. If you've never heard me talk about the skin tight, I'll link those videos down below. During the series, I didn't know if I liked it or not. I love it. It's a very gradual change on my face, but definitely helps. And I can tell by those shadows. All right, now the Smashbox has set up a little bit, so we're going to blend that out. I'm going to spray some more of my Urban Decay All Nighter and blend that out. Okay, now I'm going to go in and set that under eye. And I like to do that with a white powder. And the one that I love is from Huda. Hang on. This is by Huda Beauty, and it's her setting powder in Sugar Cookie. This is my all-time favorite for setting that under eye. I used to use the Laura Mercier Secret Brightening, and I loved that too. That was my go-to until this one. It's a little bit lighter. I tell you about that one because if you want something a little bit lighter feeling, you might like that one. This one's a little bit more of a cover, and I like that. It does not feel heavy. And this one also has a scent. I've heard it described as a strong scent. I consider it soft and lovely. It's floral. And I love the scent of this, but scents don't bother me. Okay, and then I'm going to spray. I could do the all-nighter again. Sometimes I do. Or the Fix Plus. I also like the Fix Plus to set. And I am going to use the Fix Plus because I just don't want to overdo on one spray because that has alcohol in it. And the Fix Plus is kind of better ingredients, I think. So I'm going to use the Fix Plus. I'm going to tap, tap, tap a little bit in there. And then just right here on this inner. And you'll see how that is kind of a final, just a little extra bonus cover and setting. But, you know, I don't have a lot, but do you see how that just made the remnants disappear? Okay, now I'm going to do the rest of my face, and I will pause anytime I'm at a part that helps my shadows or my dark circles. Foundation, face powder, all of that continues to help my dark circles. So I will pause. All right, I'm finishing up my foundation, and I put it on with my fingers, and now I'm bouncing it out with my beauty blender. And as I'm bouncing it out on my face, I'm kind of working it up just into the edge of that, well, kind of on it, but the dark circle. Careful not to lift any product. But my foundation gets worked up a little bit into my under eye. And that kind of smooths it and blends everything in together. But again, I am kind of right there on the edge. It may look like I'm on top of it, but I'm just on the edge of that. Did you see how much? I mean, you can see the dark circle just disappear even more. It's so stubborn. And then when I have my powder, doing my entire face, I'm setting my entire face. I'm also coming up a little bit into that under eye. It doesn't feel cakey, doesn't feel built up because it's just residue going up there, but it helps it all blend in together and just keeps adding a little more cover. So I'll be back later in the day with the touch-up because I always have to touch up. And so I'll see y'all in a few hours, and I hope you have a good day. All right, y'all, it's about 3 o'clock in the afternoon. So I've had my workout, having my day, and now I'm ready to touch up. I will tell y'all though, my concealers right now are so good. I don't ever get just a whole lot, but I like to freshen up in the middle of the day and just cover any remnants that are peeking through. And I have some definite favorites for touching up. And I don't know why I like these better in the middle of the day and not the beginning. With this first one, the matte the matte prolong wear. This is a staple, and this may be my second or third bottle of this. And this is just tried and true. It is a good full cover. I can put it on over powder and it doesn't disturb any existing makeup. I love my matte prolong wear, but what I don't love about it is probably what everybody else doesn't love about it, the dispenser. It's in a glass bottle, which is fine, that's nice, but it's in a pump. And so to dispense this, I put a pump on the back of my hand, which again is fine. It's just different. And then I get either my little cheeky beauty blender or a new huge favorite. And I may start using this in the morning. I just haven't made that switch yet. And that is this brush for concealer. This is the MAC 240S. And I have a backup on the way. I'm in love with this brush. I put this on the back of my hand, tap this in there, and then tap it onto my dark circles. And when I'm correcting, I'm still just over here right by my nose. Okay, my next beloved touch-up is the Tarte Shape Tape. And I had laid this down for almost a year. And I thought, maybe I just need to clean that out. Y'all, this is tied neck and neck and maybe a little above the MAC right now. This is just the perfect touch-up. It gives the most flawless under eyes. Now, this one, people say is drying. I do not find this drying at all, but you might. People say this is drying, so you might get a small size of this. They have a mini. I don't know. I love this one. I find it creamy, blends really easily, wears really well. One of the fullest covers on the market. It also goes on well over makeup, doesn't disturb anything that's already there. This is just a beautiful full cover concealer. Okay, the one that we are going to use today, the one I'm going to use to touch up with you, I've been loving this lately. This is the NARS Mattifying. This is probably my third little pot of this. And this is in this little pot, and it's very firm. It's very firm. It's not just overly creamy, which I like because, I don't know, I like it to be kind of stiffer. It's easier for me to lay down. And I love putting this on with this MAC 260S. It is perfection. This little brush is just the best. I use this with all of these. And I'm just right where you can see when I look down, that dark circle coming through. And I've just tapped my brush in here. Hold on, about to fall off my chair. Okay, then I'm going to just where that dark circle is, pat that on. And every time I dip in there, it's not getting a lot of product because it's real stiff. You see how good that covers that dark circle? They are so stubborn. But yeah, that does a great job. And those are my favorite touch-up concealers. I love them. Oh, and I also have one. This is a touch-up concealer, but it's a powder. This covers dark circles like nobody's business. It's the Bare Minerals in Well Rested. It's a powder concealer. All right, we'll just layer a little bit more of this. And it doesn't look very brightening, but it is. I'm just going to go in there, and I'm just going to go over. That takes anything that's left away. This out a lot of days right before I hit record, I grab this and put it on because it gets rid of any dark circles left. So anyway, y'all definitely down below, let me know your favorite concealers, under eye brighteners, powders, anything that you think we need to try so we can all pick that up and love it with you. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please like and subscribe. Leave comments and questions down below, and I'll talk to y'all soon. Y'all have a good day. Bye.